A perfect storm is brewing in America. The US government might soon run out of cash. Investors are preparing for a government default. And if that wasn't enough, now doubts are being raised over American warplanes. A big lapse has come to light at the Pentagon. Spare parts worth millions of dollars are missing. They're unaccounted for. And the Pentagon cannot come up with an explanation. Which parts are these? They are for the F-35 fighter jet, the most advanced warplane in the world. Also America's most important weapon as of today. If there's a war, if there's a need to demonstrate air power, the F-35 will be seen in action. But to keep that warplane ready for battle, the US must maintain an inventory for spare parts. Recently, this inventory was audited, and it was found that thousands of parts were missing. In fact, I have some numbers. More than 1 million spare parts of the F-35 have been lost. Do you know how much they're worth? More than $85 million, and that's just the loss from one contractor. So the actual loss could be much higher, and it's hard to come up with an estimate. Do you know why? Because the Pentagon doesn't keep any books. There are no records. The US government has no way to track where the parts are going. Remember, we're talking about the world's most powerful military with the biggest budget and supposedly the best technology. But they cannot explain where their parts are going. How difficult is it to maintain an Excel sheet? Well, it turns out they did not have one in the first place. And this is quite a mess. Do you know how the US manages these spare parts? They have a single consolidated pool. It is used by America and its allies. Now, how many countries use the F-35? Apart from the US, at least 8 others. As of 2020, these countries used the fighter jet F-35. The United Kingdom, Italy, the Netherlands, Australia, Norway, Israel, Japan, and South Korea. They were all operating the F-35. Of course, America has sold these planes to more countries than these, but they don't own any spare parts. All of them depend on American supplies, at least on paper. When they need a spare part, like engines, tires, landing gears, bolts, screws, fasteners, they turn to the US, and they have those parts delivered. Now, this inventory or central pool is massive. It is spread out across the world. Reports say the parts are held in more than 50 locations across the world. They could be inside facilities of subcontractors or US military bases, both at home and abroad, or even facilities of foreign partners. And who makes these planes? A company called Lockheed Martin. The US government relies on this company to also keep track of the parts. But like I said, a recent audit showed that parts are missing. The Pentagon was asked about this, and they couldn't explain it. The Pentagon has an F-35 program office, an entire department looking after all things F-35. Reports say they don't have any accountability over the parts. What's worse, this is not a first. For at least 5 years now, the US military has been failing this accountability audit. 5 years, and they haven't been able to get this right. Although they have started keeping some records now, but the entire process is riddled with holes. In fact, let me quote from the last audit. This is what it says. Although the F-35 program office has taken initial steps to establish property records after spending approximately $12 million to conduct the inventory, it was unable to provide the cost, total quantity, and locations of spare parts in the global spares pool. As a result of this lack of accountability, the total value and quantity of the spare parts is currently unknown. Meaning, they don't know how many spare parts are there and how much they're worth. Perhaps more than new weapons, the US military needs some accountants. The way they're going, it won't inspire confidence among allies. Look at how America is poised today. They're locked in a proxy war against Russia, whether they admit to it or not. And they're locked in an escalating Cold War with the Chinese. America may not go into battle directly anytime soon, but it must be prepared for one. As of today, it doesn't look prepared. Let me show you another report. This is from November last year. It says US warplanes are not combat ready. Only 4 out of 49 warplanes met combat requirements. And our new report says they have 1 million spare parts missing and they don't know where they went. How would you assess a force like this? We'd like to hear from you.